Good morning and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Marx, thank you very much for this pleasant welcoming address. Dear colleagues from the parliaments, state and federal parliaments, dear colleagues, dear President of the Federal Office of Criminal Investigation, dear guests of the 17th German Prevention Day, I'd like to give you a very warm welcome in Munich and in the Free State of Bavaria. The Trade Fair Center, dear Lord Mayor, is a joint event, so to speak, of the state and the city, and together we are also a co-host of the 17th German Prevention Day. I'd like to tell you the greetings of the second patron, Minister President Mr. Horst Seehofer. Maybe you saw that almost the complete Bavarian government meets up for the 85th birthday of the Bavarian Pope, so to speak, in Rome. And I stayed only for this Prevention Day today. So I'd like to tell you the greetings of our Minister President. I am glad to have all of you here today. That's the second time that the German Prevention Day is located in Bavaria, the first time in Munich. I believe that this is a good thing. We're proud on our proper and valuable security results in Munich specifically, but also all over Bavaria, as our Lord Mayor has already said that. But you can only maintain this top position in the long term if you constantly try to even improve things even more. And this is why we hope that this 17th Prevention Day will bring a lot of good results and ideas as to what we can even improve further in Munich and Bavaria. This Congress has got the main topic, safe living in the city and the state. I believe that this Congress is a great opportunity for a wide range of dialogue and discussion. Security counts to the basic needs of every human being. Security is a prerequisite for a life and freedom. It creates peace and hope. And we also know that security is the main local factor. So this is actually one big circle. Our mayor has already said that wherever you have safe social situations and you have safe work conditions, safe residential situations, this will have an impact, a direct impact on the security situations. And wherever you have a high security standard, you will have more incentives for the economy to invest assets, and more foreign companies invest to wherever they know that they are safe, the employees are safe, and the business is safe. This is why the topic security has always been a very important topic for our state government. In the city and in the state, security, this is our main topic. Of course, it's important for everyone in Bavaria that we don't only deal with the city's security issues, but also we have strong police presence. I see all the police representatives here. And we need that in all over Bavaria, and we will not draw that out. We have a relatively low crime rate in our state, a high solving rate, and that combination has made us the safest state for years. Also, 2011, we could also reach a great goal. We have less than 5,000 when it comes to crimes. And I think this is rather amazing. Well, at least the experts know what that means. 64% solving rate, that means 2/3 of all registered offenses are solved. On the average, the federal average, that's actually still a little low. But that's an example for, well, high solving rate. That's a sign of excellent police work. However, if you talk about the low crime rate, I'm sure prevention is very important. Low crime rate means that there is less crimes happening in the first place than anywhere else. And this is actually where prevention is effective. I'm sure there's many factors being involved, and I'm grateful for the mayor having already mentioned that, the top results that we have reached. The state with the lowest unemployment rate in Germany, the educational tests show that we are quite good in that area as well. I'm sure this is all just a common product, but this cannot lead to the false conclusion that you can just stop putting effort into prevention. Of course, in Bavaria and in Munich, not every crime is just one crime too much, and that's why we have to think hard. What can we do in order to enable people to live even safer in our state? 2 or 3 examples that I can tell you now in detail. I don't know who of you has ever taken the speed train, or maybe even today, to come here. Public transportation and security, especially during the last years in Munich and in general in Bavaria, this was something that we thought about intensely. The public transportation companies register an increasing amount of passengers, and this is why it's also important that people feel safe and can really feel safe in this public transportation network. Whoever is afraid when they enter the train at night, and at some point, well, people will just decide to take some other way to get somewhere if they can. And all offenses that are committed in public transportations have decreased during the last years continuously due to the effort of the police and the regional security organizations. Of course, things like the murder of Dominic Brunner are awful and lead to engaged public debates. But I tell you, whenever something like this happens, and it's important that we discuss this in public, it's awful in the regions of this world where this is just everyday business, it's just normal, and people are just used to it and they don't even care anymore. This is awful. It's important that we are out of our minds when something like this happens, but not stay in this condition, but think what we can do. I told you that this topic of public transportation and safety will be covered in this GBTD, and this is also covered by some special event within the framework of this Congress. As to prevention, I'd just like to point out, yes, during the last 10 years, the common efforts of the municipal administration and the state administration at the one side in order to reduce criminality, the presence of security forces were increased, the train watch was increased, the federal police is increasingly present in the speed train. The Deutsche Bahn, Mr. Neubeck, intensified their efforts too with security personnel. And the other area, of course, it's technological investments. Video monitoring in the train area is still going on, ladies and gentlemen. 10 years ago, that was a very controversial debate, discussion. But in the meantime, we have all agreed on that pretty much, and all surveys confirm that something between 60 and 80% of the passengers think that this is exactly the right thing to do because they feel safer due to the video monitoring being present. And especially at the weekends, I heard that the pirate party is starting with the debates we had 15 years ago, questioning video monitoring or even want to abolish it. Well, I notice it, but it also shows that the pirate party, in the end, is an outsider party. But fortunately, we all pretty much agree on what needs to be done in the interest of the people and the security of the people. Security, of course, is a common social task. We need active engagement and involvement of our citizens. And that's why civil courage needs to be supported, something that our Lord Mayor has also mentioned already. This is immensely important. We can have so many forces. You can never have police at every street corner. It's impossible. You can't have, in every train station, you can't have a security employee. You need engaged people. Civil courage needs to be intensified and supported, and this is a very important issue for us. We have seen a wide range of projects during the last years as to this topic. Not an example of Munich that I would like to mention, but the second great region of Nuremberg. During the last 10 years, there was a project being developed. It started with like a couple of dozens pupils, students, and they had a joint organization together with police and the schools. They tried to learn about what to do in crucial situations. How do you solve conflicts without violence? How do you prevent other people, other students from spraying or damaging property, public property or something else? It's a great project, and in the meantime, we have more than 2,000 young people of 50 schools of that area were trained, and I'm glad that with the help of the new foundation of the Bavarian insurance company, we can enlarge this project. But as the Minister of the Interior, of course, I would like to say that along with all these large prevention topics, I don't need to repeat everything we've just heard by the Lord Mayor. We should still consider in the 21st century that, traditionally speaking, criminal law, German criminal law, has got a preventive task too. At least that's what I learned at the university when I studied law. It's got something to do with general prevention and special prevention. Not solely, there are other things, but it's got also something to do with that. And I think that during some discussions in the media, this is going to the background. But it's important that we've got engaged drug prevention being conducted in order to prevent young people from starting drugs in the first place. But it would still be totally wrong to abolish the crime of drug misuse. That's an absurd discussion. And I would also like to say, ladies and gentlemen, if someone is sentenced to life imprisonment, and you know this is a very tight criminal offense field that you get life imprisonment for in the first place, I still think it's not appropriate to release these people after 5 years already for a time. We have the stipulated rules that whoever was sentenced to lifetime imprisonment might be released after 5 to 15 years at the earliest, if this is appropriate. This is why we have a Bavarian law saying that in these cases, after 12 years, so someone was in prison for 12 years and it's got 3 years to go, you start to think as to how you can prepare such a person for the future life and freedom. But I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, that if someone gets released after 5 years for a while, still having 10 years to go to test life of freedom at that early stage, it might even not be the best incentive for the people and might bring people to not want to go back, naturally. I think it's quite obvious in that connection that these thoughts of general prevention, crime prevention, are going towards the background of the discussion. Someone who has been sentenced to life imprisonment can go out for a walk after 5 years already, I ask myself, where is the respective deterrent effect in the long run? I believe it's important that when it comes to these experiments, we still remember, in the end, you need to protect the victims more than the offenders. And this is a topic that, in Bavaria at least, we will still continue to deal with that. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end I'd like to thank you, the German Prevention Day and all organizing institutions, the huge engagement that you prepare this naturally prepare this Congress. Mr. Marx, you and all your colleagues, your idealism, your effort has been contributing for years to this internationally excellent event being wonderful also in this year. And I think if you go through the program, you will see that. It's a wonderful program. It's a holistic, comprehensive, and very interesting program. And I'm sure that the 2-day Congress with this wide offer of exhibits and information events will make people learn all kinds of new information. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to wish you, all of us, inspiring impressions for our everyday work in the area of prevention. I'd like to wish you luck and all the best for your personal work, and naturally a good and a safe stay in our Bavarian state capital. And at the side, I'd like to wish you fun with our Bavarian orchestra, at least today. They are really part of the deal. All the best.